What is up, guys? This is going to be a full-on instructional and tutorial video outlining all of the features and functionality of the Smarter Contact. My name is Adam Nasir. I'm the founder and CEO, so I figured no better person than to explain it than the person who built it. So again, guys, I've been a real estate investor for many years, and this was a software that I built as an investor to be set up the way that you guys want to see it. So without further ado, I'm going to show you guys the platform, how it functions, how it works, and under the hood of every single feature. So this is going to be a full-on tutorial. We do have it sectioned out in the pieces. If you do have a specific question, we do have it sectioned out in the pieces, but this is going to be a full-on overview, boot start of how to use the software. So first, one thing you'll notice is it's a very intuitive and easy to use design. I mean, that's the whole bread and butter of this thing, is it's easy to use. And when you're getting hundreds and thousands of leads coming in at a time, you don't want a hard to use interface. Whether you're using it or maybe you have somebody else on your team using it, it's frustrating using a poor interface. And that was what we built and what you'll see here as you see the platform. So one thing you'll see is as the leads come in, right? Let's say you send out a blast of 100 or 500 or 1,000, right? The leads are going to come in right at the top, and it almost looks like email. Your leads will come in here, right, where my mouse cursor is. And as you can see them come in, you can respond in one of two ways, right? You can send them a message here. So let's say the person sends you a message. You can quickly type a response right here. And you could have a couple of these open, which is pretty cool. We found this to be a really neat feature. So you could have a couple of these, send a message, and move on, right? The other way is to actually click the lead. It's going to take you to a completely different section, and then you have a brand new conversation. So I'll show you that here in a few minutes, but real quick, I do want to show you some other pieces to it as well. So as the leads are coming in, the other part is we've doubled it because there are other SMS platforms out there, but the key here is this is built on top of a CRM and a very easy to use CRM. So we have a grade functionality. So right from here, let's say a contact responds and they respond positively. We can mark this as anything we want. We can mark it as a warm lead, as a hot lead, a follow-up, anything we want. And it's important to do this with the leads that respond positively. Most of them aren't. Most of the leads are going to probably respond negatively, but the ones that do, you really want to capture them and put them into some sort of a follow-up. And we give you that ability here. One thing to note is here in the grade section, you can actually customize this. We don't force you to use the software anyway. It's pretty pliable, and I made it so that you can change these settings. So for example, not interested or warm lead or hot lead, I can change this text to anything we want within the software, and I'll show you where to do that. Here is where you can sort, right? So you can sort by anything you want. So let's say I want to look at only my not interested leads or my warm and hot leads. I've got them right here, and it quickly gives me a heads up display of all the leads that fit into that. I can even take it a step further and push these leads to a CRM. I can take them and download them as a file. I can push them to a folder. I can add them to the DNC. The options are limitless, but here you can see it's very easy to use. The functionality is truly something where it's one click and you can accomplish these goals here. Here also, you can also star something. What I've seen a lot of users use is using this for, let's say, to verify if the contact is the real person or not, if they have the right number. That's one way that we've seen it used. And then you could just use it by simply clicking starred or unstarred, and it'll filter by this category as well. Here we have a feature for DNC. So let's say you got some not interested leads. You can take these leads. Let's say this contact, Johnny Appleseed, he responded negatively. I can click with one push, click it here, and now this lead is gone. It's in the DNC. Anytime we upload a new contact with that person's phone number, it'll automatically scrub this person out. So we provide that for you as an additional service. Completely free, by the way, in your account. Here in the campaign section, it probably would look most to you like your email. I really tried to take a hybrid of design of email and also just something with a heads up quick display. So the email setup here. So here I can filter by campaign that I sent. So on the left side, I can just click anything as a campaign. I can see what was sent in each campaign here. These are all test campaigns we created. So they're not pulling data, but normally you would see the leads associated with each campaign right from here. So we're going to go back to the all screen. Also some additional functionality. You have the ability to create custom folders. So for example, test folder. And what I can do is I can take my leads and I can actually drag and drop them. So here's the test folder with 0 leads. I can quickly drag and drop my contacts here. We've seen this being very effective for a couple different campaigns. For example, if you're cash buyers, a lot of people use this software to sell their deals to cash buyers. They are using the software to, obviously to prospect leads. Maybe they have a niche list or a targeted list. This would be a good way to reach out to them, and you can send them a custom message just to the people in this folder as well, which is a pretty cool feature. So next is the search functionality. Very robust. I can search by anything. I can search by, the word birthday even. Let's see. Yeah, so I can search by text. I can search by name. Let's see, jobs. And there it is. So what's cool, what we see is, let's say you had a conversation with a seller about, I don't know, the football game or something like that. We've seen all types of stuff. So we made the search functionality search everything, not only just the name, but also the message. So just showing you guys what's under the hood. And we have so much more to show you guys as this video goes on, but this is what's going to make your life considerably easier using the software. So that's that. Next, kind of going into, also you can filter by your list as well. So you can filter by that. You can change your entries on how many displays. Oh, and lastly, and this screen too, is if you have an elite account, if you're on the elite account, you have the ability to add secondary users. So this is going to be what a lot of people are using is they have the elite account, and then they have, let's say, somebody else in their office that's also doing SMS blast. What you'll be able to do is add that account as a secondary. They can have their own email login. You can see their leads. They can't see yours. You guys share your accounts together, but it does share the wallet and the credit card. We can explain that. If you have any questions, just reach out to our support team about that. But it's on the elite plan, and you can have up to 5 total users using this. So pretty cool feature for some of you guys that have VAs or have reps in your office. We give you that ability to have more than one account. So this is what it would look like as an admin to have the software. So next, let's say you go into a lead here. Here you can see the message that was sent. Hi Adam, wanted to buy your property. Would you consider selling? This is the response, and here I can quickly respond back anything we want. One feature that I highly recommend everybody uses is the macros. So macros is going to be your quick responses. So this is going to be when somebody says, hey, yeah, like, who are you? I don't know who you are. How did you get my number? I'm not interested. I am interested. You're going to get all types of different responses, but a lot of them are going to be repeating. So instead of having to type it out every single time or think about the best words, having those pre-programmed with just one button you click, and now it sends a macro response. So an example would typically be, let's say they said, how did you get my number? hey, I'm just a local landlord, and I think I looked it up on the white pages, something like that. And imagine having to type that out every time. You might, say something wrong. It's going to create some issues, and it's going to take time. Now with the macros, you set it up once, you program them in. You can program in as many as you want, and sure, I'll just give you guys a quick example of it now. Let's say, how did you get my number? Quick side tip, really like using these words, these little buzzwords. This creates soft relationships. So, local, landlord, homeowner, these things really help in creating that rapport with your contact who's probably on edge. They don't know who you are, so you really want to make them feel at ease when dealing with you. So here's an example. I'm a local landlord, looked it up through the white pages. Have a few minutes. Another quick side tip is, putting some certain times. Making sure that they're reaching out to you on times that are specific to your schedule, but that also puts some kind of urgency around them reaching back out. It's another thing we found as well. So here, if they respond, how did you get my number? There you go. So pretty cool functionality there. Also, you have a character count. You really don't want to be above 160. If you are, just know it's going to charge for 2 messages because each SMS is 160 characters. Here you have the lead. Now this is going to show everything about the contact, right? So you can edit the name. You can change their name here if you want. You can change the grade, add them to the DNC. You can upload their email address. We have an integration with Google Street View. So here, if I want to Google the property, I've got a quick link to it. Zillow integration. So this normally is blank, and then we just click here, and it's going to take me to the address. And actually, it fills it in. So it was already blank before I clicked the button before this demo, but here it's going to populate. All this was populated from Zillow. So you can see 467-839. Yep, I guess it went up $1,000. So yeah, so this is all populated with Zillow as well. Here is the notes section. So I really encourage anybody that's using this to highly use the notes section and keep track of your conversation. When you're talking to a seller and you talked on, August 5th, put down the date. Here's an example of what we recommend is putting down, 085, talk with contact, about anything. And then now you have a follow-up, let's say August 10th, go on, and now you have a talk track of what you talked about. So maybe you talk with them a month later, you have some things that you built rapport with. You can say, hey, I talked to you about this and this and that, and you have something relatable. Just remember, using this software, just really on the sales side, we're going to train you guys on the sales strategy, on how to manage the wholesaling techniques like that. That's my mission, to make sure you guys have this part of it too. Not only is the software robust, and obviously you can see from the demo what we're doing here, but we're also going to make sure that we're training you on this side. But just remember this, that the deal is not locked up on the first contact. The first time you talk to somebody, they don't know who you are, they don't trust you. Don't take that personal, but they don't trust you. So it's going to take them getting to know you over a few phone calls, over conversations, and maybe on the 4th, 5th, 10th, 20th follow-up, some things has changed in their life. Maybe something happened in their life where they now need to sell. Now they trust you because you've talked to them 10 times. And the way you build rapport is getting to know somebody, is remembering everything about them. So this is a good way to be able to track that and keep good notes on the conversation. So next, we also integrate with Podio. So we have a full built-in Podio integration, as well as other CRMs as well. So we have a full-on Podio integration. One click, you send your lead, all your data right there. And then also the ability with other CRMs to be able to push out the data. So that will be coming actually very soon after the launch of this video. So that is there as well. Next is going to be your follow-up. So this is a really cool feature a lot of people use, and we're going to be integrating it actually with Google Calendar, where let's say you talk with this contact and they're motivated and you want to follow up, let's say on the 25th of August. Now it's been added, and I go to my calendar. And the calendar is going to show me everything. It's going to show me my scheduled campaigns. It's going to show me all my follow-ups. And here's Adam right here where I can click it. And we also have a daily view. So, it would show you just a view of all the contacts you have to follow up with for the month. So here's basically I just click it and it takes me right back to the lead. Okay, so now the next portion of this. Next is going to be your list upload. So when you're uploading a list, it's pretty easy. Just drag and drop. So I'll just drag and drop a list here. It takes 2 seconds. And the important part is tagging the lead, tagging the phone number. So remember, this is a text merge service, right? It's going to take a certain field that you tag and then merge that into a message. So for example, hi, first name, I want to buy your property. It's going to need to know what first name is. So this is where you're going to do that. So here's first name, last name. So making sure that you do all this in the right way is critical. So one suggestion that we have is at the very top of your list, put your personal info down. Put your actual first name, last name, your address, and your phone number in, so that when you send out a blast, it went through, and then you're doing it right. So especially guys on your first list, use your own personal cell phone just so you understand how the software works. I'd rather you make a mistake on your personal cell phone than a list that you paid for and paid to skip trace. That's much less expensive. So just a small recommendation if it's your first list. And even on future lists, just a good best practice to put your own personal phone number in there. So once that's done, you're going to name it. So test list 1, 2, 3. Okay. And then here is something called the list management section. So this is another thing that we provide for you in using the service. List management is going to do basically a scrub of a lot of different areas. So one is your undeliverables. So in the software, we track every phone number that's been undelivered. So let's say you sent a previous campaign with 1,000 phone numbers and 200 of them were landlines. Instead of just throwing that data away, we actually remember those landlines that we couldn't reach before. And if those landlines exist in your current list, we take those out for you. So you're not paying for additional undeliverable data. You don't want to be sending messages to landlines and phone numbers that are disconnected. So that's one area. We're going to save you guys a lot of money with our skip tracing service as well. And I'll go over that later in the video. But the undeliverables, you generally want to have this checked out. Response filtration, what that is basically let's say somebody says stop or not interested. You can program in certain keywords where if somebody responds with these things, it'll remove them. DNC, this is going to be your messages that you've marked into your personal DNC list. Duplicates is going to be duplicates within this list. So in this example, we have the same number 3 times, so it would scrub it out. Litigators, this is going to be the national do not call list. and the Blacklist Alliance litigators list. So this is a service we pay thousands of dollars a month for. We actually include it 100% for free, and we scrub out known litigators, their relatives, as well as a national do not call list as well. So yeah, so generally 99% of the time, please keep these checked. It's going to save you guys a lot. But in this example, just because has some duplicate numbers, I'm going to uncheck it and apply. Okay, all right, so half the battle is done. Now we're going to move on to the campaign section. So in the campaign section, you're going to be able to create your own custom campaign. So say campaign, can't type today, campaign 1. And you're going to select your list. So here you can select as many lists as you want, and you can see a preview of each list. So for example, the list we just uploaded, test 1, 2, 3, it has 3 contacts and 4 phone numbers. We can click that, and we can add more if we want. So as many as we want here. And here it's going to show you the amount of leads and phone numbers that we have available within this list that's uploaded, what's uploaded to the campaign. Please remember that many times you're going to have more phone numbers than contacts. Just remember the difference. Contacts is going to be the number of leads. It's just going to be the name of the person, right? So John Smith. But John Smith might have, 1 phone number. He might have 5 phone numbers. So just remember that a contact is not a phone number. They're 2 different things. A contact has multiple phone numbers usually. Sometimes it can have 0, So just remember that usually most of the time you're going to have more phone numbers than contacts. So next you're going to select your message. This is a pretty cool feature within the software. You can go ahead and create your own custom message in this page. So basically what you do is you type the message you want, and it's all text merge. You do that by simply type in the message, and then use this field, this greater than field. And then type in the address or first name. There you go. So in a typical normal example, here's what we recommend for best practices on this. Is you want to have at least 1 text merge field. Like this is just really an example. We would never send this kind of message out because you're not going to get the goal of buying the property. But you recommend having at least 1 text merge field. 2 is even better. We don't make you, we don't have any bans. We don't have any restrictions on certain keywords. But there are certain things you definitely don't want to use. Domains, you don't want to put www dot, into a text blast with hundreds and thousands of people. You don't want to do that. You don't want to put your phone number. That's also not something you want to do. And we actually have it so that it forwards. There's a forwarding aspect, so that they call you, it'll forward, so that wouldn't even serve any purpose if you did that. We also don't have any restriction. Some SMS companies have issues with sending the words cash or investor or buyer. We haven't had any issues with that in our platform with the delivery algorithm that we have. And also, there's no need for spinner tokens or any senseless, things that make it so to make up for a low delivering platform. So some platforms are having those issues. They can't get their delivery rate right, and they make you use these silly spinner tokens, which is just nuts. So we don't make you use any of that. We don't force you to use it. It's very simple, very straightforward, and making sure that you're most effective with your templates. So once you've made the message here, I'm going to go in and select one. Okay. And here I can schedule it, right? So I can schedule it to go out at a certain time. So let's say I want to schedule it for August 20th at 2 p.m. Boom, now it's locked in. Now I can choose to send all the leads at once. And now just remember, this is a small campaign. I mean, typically your campaigns are going to be much, much bigger than this. But sometimes they're so big that you don't want to send 1,000 at once and then just get flooded with an inbox. Maybe you want to have them go out every 10 minutes so you can have time to respond, or every 20 minutes or every hour, so that you can respond. Remember, this isn't about sending a huge bulk. This is about typing a personal message to somebody that they can feel like it's a individual, right? Quickly going back to this area in the message section, you really want to read your message out loud and say, how would I receive this? Would I feel like somebody just took the time to write me a personal message? Or is this something that used an automated system? Because if it's the latter, you really want to spend more time on making it feel like a handcrafted personal message. That's how people are going to respond to you. So next, you're going to click this here, and you're going to select whether you want to do the batching, the throttling or not. So here you can do, let's say for example, 100 every hour, or 50 every 30 minutes. So you have that ability here to be able to do that. And also you also have the ability to set certain parameters. So let's say I want to go between 10 and 5 p.m. I have that ability. Guys, keep in mind that we also have to be respectful of people's time. So know what time you're reaching out to your contacts. Generally, between 10 to 6 p.m. is a very ideal time. Anytime before that, you might be bothering them. Definitely really be cautious of, especially if you're going to use this feature, to really have the set time periods so that you're not blasting people at a time that's not convenient for them. Also, static phone numbers. This is a feature that we have for cash buyer blasts. So if you're using the system, a lot of people are using it for cash buyers. You can have one static phone number, so all your campaigns just never rotates, and you can send your blast that way. So once I've set that up, right? Actually in this example, I'm just gonna not send all at once. And here you have a click-through screen. The purpose of doing this is to make sure that you're TCPA compliant. It's very easy. You can click through the leads in a matter of a few seconds. But here's the heads-up display. It shows you everything that you have. Actually, let me show you guys what it would look like if we scheduled a campaign. Okay, so now that we've got this set up here, I can click through the messages. And also, just keep in mind, I can also change the message. We're big Elon Musk fans here at Smart Contact. So, so you can actually change the message halfway through, and send a customized message. So once I'm done, confirm, and we're good to go. Successfully sent one message every 30 minutes based on the campaign throttling, and now it's going to go out. So simple as that. That is the campaign section. Now that the campaign is out, what you're going to do is you're going to sit back over the next 10 minutes or so. I mean, assuming you just went out right then and there, you're going to get a lot of responses right away, and you're going to wait for your responses to come in. So next I'm going to go over now the backside of the software. now going over the settings and everything there. So in the settings, you have a lot of different functionality. What I mentioned earlier on is the grades. You can actually change these grades to anything you want. So for example, I can rename not interested to bad lead or negative lead or do not call or anything. I can change this, anything, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, however you want to do it. And you can also add additional grades right from this section. Default grade, this is going to be what they come in as. Generally, it's going to be some kind of low-ranking lead. So we give you the ability to check which grade is the default for all leads. Open tab on a new click. So this is if a message replies, or when you reply to a message, if it opens in the same screen or opens as a new tab. So just a couple little add-on features, and then the ability to add a new user. You can check to see what their statuses are right from this page. Here's the list management section. So list management, what this does is it's going to track all of your DNC contacts. So right from here, I can see all of the data. Typically, they're normally uploaded correctly. You would see their address, their phone number, date added. I can remove them. I can add individual contacts here to it if I want. I can upload a list or single list or single number or list of numbers to the DNC so that it scrubs those out of future lists. And then all this is aggregate. So aggregate just means the total of everything. It's going to add up all your DNC, your response removal. Response removal is basically this keywords in the software, not interested, wrong number, that kind of thing. And it's going to scrub those out for you. The help and support section. So one thing that we take very serious is our help and support. We have the best support system in the industry by far. With that team, we have tons of training and tutorial videos. So anything you need, whether it's specific to something, check this video. We also have tons of video content on YouTube that goes over everything. So please, I would recommend starting there. But if you haven't gotten it solved, we have a tutorial area right here, a button right here to reach out to our support team. So next I'm going to go into the phone setup. So phone setup, this is really cool. The way we do this is we have a few different functions. So active incoming. Active incoming is going to be your personal phone number. It's going to be your Google Voice. It's going to be your call rail number. So let's say you send a text blast to somebody, they're going to get a response back. You're going to get a call. If they want to call you that number, it's going to ring your call rail or your personal phone number. So that way you don't have to give them a phone number in the text. If they call that message they received a text from, your personal phone is going to ring. So it's really important to set this up and have this here so that your phone rings if they try to call that number. Next is mobile text alerts. This is a newer feature we just added, and our user base has been loving this. So this is really cool. So imagine you're at the store, you've had a good lead, and somebody texts you, on your motivated list. Instead of not knowing about it and responding the next day, we set it up. So let's say somebody texts you from your hot leads, right? If they text you, you'll get a text notification on your cell with the copy of that message. So if the seller says, hey John, I would be able to take a look at that offer, and it's 6 p.m. and you don't respond until the next day, you might lose that lead now, right? So now your phone goes off no matter where you're at, notifying you that this person responded. And you can use this with folders or campaigns. We recommend not setting it to all. There's a very small cost on this. So you get the first 100 each month for free and then just a penny per SMS after. But really you want to use this only on a super targeted list. So you probably only get 50 or 100 messages a month, but the first 100 are on us, so you wouldn't even have to pay for that. Here in the phone setup screen, you have the prefix section. This is where you're going to be able to buy your area code. So here, for example, I'm in the 813 area code. I would simply buy a phone number here, right? So buy a phone number, click it, and successfully purchased. You can buy in any area code in America. Just remember, it's $1 per phone number, and it's charged on a monthly basis. So it's the way it's set up. Here in active outgoing, this is going to be the current number that the system is set up to use. So just remember to check your outgoing number. So for example, let's say you're running a list in Orlando, Florida, but your number is a Tampa number. You might want to change the phone number to a local area code before sending it out. So just a quick tip, if your campaign is going out, just remember to make sure that you have the right area code set up. Next is going to be your connected outgoing numbers. This is going to be very important to also make sure. The way the system is programmed is it's going to go from basically top to bottom. So right now the connected outgoing is 9615. It's going to use this one, and then it's going to go down the list of phone numbers. The static is the only exception. I'll go over that in a minute. But the way it'll work is it'll use this phone number, and then this phone number, and then this phone number, and then this phone number. It'll go down the list. So what you want to do is, let's say you wanted to hit your local market, right? So you want to make sure it's all the same area code. And it'll start here. So what it'll do is it'll send 200 messages per phone number, right? Once it's used 200 messages, it's going to go to this number and this number and then the next number. So just making sure that your area codes are matched up, so that it's going to go through all your local area codes for that list. And just remember, 200 phone numbers per area code. Here we give you some basic details on each phone number, when it was purchased, when it was leased, when it expires, all that information as well. And we do have advanced training on the phone number algorithm, but this is the juice of Smarter Contact. This is why everybody uses it, is because our messages go through because we have a very advanced algorithm. We don't make you use spinner tokens. We don't make you make restrictions on your keywords. This is exactly why we have the effectiveness and the brand that we have, because of this well-oiled machine that we have here. So next is going to be something called your legacy numbers, and this is critical because let's say you have a contact you talked to, you messaged 3 months ago, even 4 months ago, 6 months ago, and by that time your numbers expired, right? After a certain amount of time, after several months, your numbers expire. What we do is we keep those numbers for you. So if that contact messages you, if you message them back from a new number, it's a little weird, right? It's a little, you're not going to create as much rapport if you text them from a brand new number. So we thought about that, and we thought, okay, well, let's keep your numbers in place for certain conversations. And that's where the legacy numbers come in. So typically what will happen is you'll see the number, the legacy start date, basically when it went into the legacy period, and it'll show the amount of active conversations. This is a demo account, so we don't have this data filled in, but basically a legacy number, the definition of it is it can't be used for a campaign. It can only be used for an existing conversation. So this number, you can't use it for a blast anymore because carriers might start to pick up on it. But if it's for an existing phone, like text conversation with an existing seller, that's fine, and we keep that number for you. So for more advanced training on it, we have a video that's going to go over everything. But just know that this is going to be really effective for keeping an old phone number on your account, so that you don't have to follow up with a lead from an old phone number. So here's going to be your API section. So your API with Podio, your plan. So we have 3 separate plans: Pro, Starter, Pro, and Elite, each with their own features and functionality. The way the system bills is it's going to be a certain amount of free messages a month. So the Elite comes with 2,000 messages per month. And then after those are used, it's 2 cents a message and $1 per month per phone number. So Next is going to be, here's your wallet, here's where all that is set up. And lastly, I want to get into one of the more important parts of the software that we recently introduced and has been just killing it for investors. So a few months ago, we stepped into the skip tracing industry, and because we saw so much bad data out there, just a lot of people selling data that's just not effective, and we made sure to align ourselves and get not only the highest tier data, but also integrate it where it's fully customized for SMS. So if you're using Smarter Contact, there really should be no other reason you should be using anybody else for skip tracing, and I'll show you why. So here's our skip tracing platform here we built in, and here's how it works. So let's say, for example, you have a list. Yeah, you're gonna upload the list here. Sorry, I think it's a long list. Yep. So you're gonna upload the list here, and you're gonna tag everything, right? So first name, last name, property address. I kept it pretty similar to the lists section, so pretty similar to that upload. But I'll show you guys here why it's like totally different than anything else. Okay, so once you've done that, really important to make sure that all this is done correctly. We have a full-on video on this. You know, really important that it's done right. But just for this video here, you're gonna click next. Okay, so fairly quick. It pulls a list extremely fast, and once the list is pulled, right? So now that I've pulled the list, what I can do is I can export this list, which is really cool, right? So I can push this to my list, and I can take just the mobile data, right? And this is really going to be where it's going to be night and day for you, because now you've got the data here. It does it in a really efficient way. So now I've got cell phone, I know the phone type, cell phone, and I know the phone type. Everything is pushed out in a way where it's really easy to read. And I can push just the mobile data to a list. So now just click that, successfully pushed, and there you go. Now I've got the list all done in a perfect way. I don't have to worry about the data not being pushed in correctly. So very highly recommend the skip tracing service, and it's a game changer for a lot of investors. And not only that, we consistently are doing 90+% hit rate on the results. So anyways, guys, we offer a 7-day free trial. If you haven't already used it, we welcome you to do so. We have training all over. If you haven't joined our Facebook page, we have a private Facebook group for you guys to be able to learn and grow and share your victories and your wins there. So again, thank you so much, guys, for watching. Very much want to see you guys win here, and thanks again for watching. Hope this helps. Take care.